why would you do an internship? So, you know, it's a great way to figure out what you want to do with your degree and finding your own career path. And SIP is a great way where it will integrate work experience into your studies. So you're not looking and searching right after graduation, you're kind of doing it before you graduate. And again, like I said, the durations are 4, 8, 12, or 16 months to do an internship. And so what are the benefits of doing an internship? Well, as you know, you get real world work experience. So you're taking what you're learning from the classroom and actually applying it in real world settings. And I've been told by many students that they actually go out and do an internship and really take what they're learning from the course and really applying it to their job. And then when they come back, classes are a lot easier for them. Obviously, getting paid, money is good. Kind of figuring out, how much in your field you may get paid to after you graduate. And figuring out what you want to do after you graduate. Do you want to be working in a lab? Do you want to be working outside? Do you want to have clients? So it's really figuring that out before you graduate. So when you do graduate, you can hit the ground running and you know where to set your sights. And you gain a lot of great soft skills, which is super important to employers. Gaining that group interaction, gaining leadership skills, talking up into staff meetings, those are really great soft skills that employers just love. So when you have those under your belt when you graduate, you're a lot more appealing to employers. And so the first step is to gain access to SciWorks so you can see all the jobs on the portal. So you can sign up today if you haven't already. You need at least a 2.3 GPA on your previous last fall winter combined. I know with the previous winter term that your GPA may be a little skewed. So if you have any questions, again, you can email me about that. And at least star 24 credits to enter the portal, as you would need at least star 48 to actually go out on internship. A lot of employers like to have you at least second year, as they would like to see a lot of courses that you've kind of learned and a little bit more of a technical skill set for sure. And then at least no more than 105 at the time of internship, as at that time we'd like to see you graduated by then. And so once you have access to the portal, you'll be able to see all the job postings, and you can see all job postings across all disciplines. So if you're in computing science, you'll be able to still see the chemistry jobs or the psychology positions regardless. Some disciplines may have more than others. So computing science will have a lot more jobs than, say, like physics. But that's okay. There are still plenty of jobs out there, so don't worry about that, or don't be daunted by that. You can also create a job alert to be sent to your email. So if you type in a keyword into SciWorks, with the word chemistry in it or artificial intelligence, you'll be sent an email when that job posting comes up, and then you can apply for that job. And again, you're more than welcome to apply to all jobs that you are interested, but make sure you tailor that resume and make sure you're really wanting that position as well too. So you're not just limited to SciWorks as well. There are other job posting boards that you can actually look at. And as long as it's full-time paid work and doing relevant work experience, will more than likely accept the internship. So other job boards that you can look on is alluda.ca, indeed.ca, Workopolis, even the Career Center on the main U of A campus may have internships as well too, and Talent Egg. And again, these are really good job boards as well to be looking at after graduation too, or when you're ready to graduate, to be looking for full-time work. So it's not just limited to just internships, but these are really great for after graduation to be looking at. And so, as I said, there are workshops that will be happening. So after the portal closes, you will be asked to do workshops. So our first one is Wednesday, October 10th. Again, it'll be like a Google Hangout, and we will help you tailor your resume and cover letter. So you will be the best candidate for an interview. And then again, the Career Center does offer a 1-hour session as well to help tailor your resume and cover letter if you'd like to go and see them as well. And then, you know, once you get that interview from your great resume and cover letter, you can come and see myself or Janine, and we can do a mock interview with you where we'll take you and ask you questions as you would see in a typical job interview, and you know, teach you how to answer those how to answer those questions as well. And then for the employers, when they're posting those positions, all positions will be paid. You may see some job postings where there's not a salary given. That's okay. They just might not know at the time of posting how much they're going to pay you, but you will be paid regardless. And it is up to the employer to review and screen the position. So they're the ones that will be contacting you, and they're the ones that determine the length of the internship, as certain projects may require a long length of time versus a short one. So they're the ones that will determine the length of the internship. And some positions are competitive. They are national and international postings that are in there as well too. So we had a student that's currently out in Norway, and then Camilla, who is actually out in Vancouver right now. So we have lots of positions that are all over Canada and internationally. And if you need help on how to talk to employers, again, you can see myself or Janine, or if you're wanting to go abroad, you can see and make an appointment with us, and we can discuss those options for you. So once you've put forth your resume, cover letter, and do the interview, again, the employer may conduct the interview. Obviously, this is an old slide, but typically it would be either on campus or at the company. Most likely right now they are interviewing via Zoom, via Google Hangouts. So that's kind of a little bit different from previous years. Do be checking SciWorks regularly. There are job postings that will come up and down throughout the semester. So do be looking regularly in SciWorks. Janine also sends out a really great newsletter every Friday as to new positions or positions that will be closing soon. So do check your emails as well too, as Janine really keeps you up to date as to what positions may be closing. And again, nervous about that interviewing, you can see us and we can help you with a mock interview. And so once you've passed your interview, you are and offered the job, you have 24 hours to accept the job offer. And then you are to contact your SIP advisor immediately, as we'll go through next steps as to what you will need to do. So you'll create a work term record in SciWorks, where I'll have all the contact information about the employer and kind of your job duties. And then you would email me letting me know that you actually created a work term record. And then from there, I will enroll you into a work experience course. And it keeps your full-time U of A student status. So any kind of scholarships or bursaries or student loans that you have, those are still good because you're still considered a full-time U of A student, so you won't default on those. And again, it is a work experience course, so all courses do carry a fee. So there is a fee associated to the work experience course while you're out on internship. And then you go, you work full time, you have a great time. Anytime you have any questions or concerns about your internship, do talk to your SIP advisor. Throughout your internship experience, we will get you to fill out probation and final evaluations through SciWorks. I'll be emailing you as well. There will be an e-class component, kind of thinking and unpacking your internship experience that you will be asked to complete as well while you're out on internship. And a lot of students receive full-time work after they graduate. So they go out and do this internship with this company and they offer them a position. They're like, yeah, go back to school, finish off your studies, and when you're done, you have a full-time job afterwards. So it's really a great way to kind of get you get ahead of your peers and actually find work after you graduate instead of going through that whole search process after you graduate. And, you know, this really helps you get you ready for after graduation as well, too, as you've gone through this hiring process and the work environment, and actually talking to people that are out in the field and they know what the job prospects are like. And yeah, so that is it for my presentation. And I will get Camila to actually talk right now, as again, she is currently out on workday right now, and she's just going to talk about her experience. So I will leave it to her.
Thank you so much, Nadine. Hi, everyone. My name is Camila. I'm a specialization in computing science student at University of Alberta, and I'm doing an internship at Workday as a software application engineer. So for the past 12 months, I've been here in Vancouver working for a startup called Rally Team that was acquired by Workday to create a web and mobile application which uses machine learning to match people with internal career opportunities. Our application solves the problem of employee engagement and retention, which is a really expensive and worldwide business problem. To put all this in easier words and to show you guys what types of problems we're trying to solve using tech, imagine you've been working in accounts for Lululemon and you've been doing that for 5 years. You've just finished a course in marketing and you're really interested in working on a marketing team. Lululemon has no way of knowing this about you. So when they needed a social media marketer, they hired an outside consultant, and you quit your job because you see there's no more growth for you at your current position. Lululemon loses a lot of money. They have to train their outside hire, and they also have to replace you. So our application in this way is going to show all the skills that you have and use machine learning to properly match you to those internal opportunities. So that's some of the work I'm participating in. I've been asked to tell you guys what kinds of things I have personally worked on, and also what it's like working during the COVID-19 pandemic. So through Workday, I was sent to attend a training camp for 3 weeks in California near San Francisco in order to learn our proprietary language and also our tech stack. It was a super amazing experience because Workday set up my hotel. They gave me a rental car and a daily budget for food, and I got to see so much of the city while learning a lot of the technology I was going to use at my actual job. After that, I contributed to, and I've been an active engineer on our iPhone and Android application development using Espresso and Bespoke. I have also worked on other areas such as our website responsiveness and feature development on our website using Angular and React. I've become familiar with HTML, CSS, JavaScript through this opportunity. I've also learned developer best practices, how to work as part of a Scrum team, how to learn new technologies on my own as a student and quickly complete all the sprint work. Almost all of the first and second year courses I took in university, I've applied some way working in the industry. I've also gained the chance to work alongside many really talented junior and senior engineers who mentor me and who have experience in many diverse areas such as machine learning, data science, web development, QA, etc. I have personally in the pandemic adjusted really well. It's actually really cool because Workday gave us a budget to set up our home office. So all of my assigned tickets and projects I'm currently doing from my house. I don't work longer hours because of the pandemic, and I find myself, I'm just as productive as I was when we were working in our office. Being remote, our team is forced to over communicate through Zoom, so I don't feel like I lack face-to-face time at work. Some students have asked me how the pandemic has affected the computing science industry. I think in the long term, the pandemic will ultimately fuel a rise of opportunities, especially for students in the software industry, because remote work was a thing for us in software even before the pandemic. A lot of big companies like Workday, Google, and Facebook allowed their employees to work remotely for a couple days a week if they wanted to. By nature, many roles in computing and software development can be fully exercised away from the office. Other companies even offered software engineering roles which were completely remote year-round. And some Scrum teams are completely remote without even having a base office to begin with. So for software development, in my opinion, there are not many problematic operational challenges that comes with not being able to meet face-to-face. Because of the pandemic, the world has made this transition from an in-person first to a remote first model of society, making almost every field in the world more reliant on online tools and technology for day-to-day business operations. I personally anticipate this will fare well for job prospects for students in the future, and it will drive an increase in an already high demand for really good engineers. Um, that's all I have for you guys. Are there any questions? Anything goes. There's no such thing as a silly question. A year and a half ago, I was sitting in the same place listening to somebody else talk about their internship, just like you. And I wish I had asked all the things I was curious about. So if you have a question, please, I'm here today. I would love to answer.
So we have somebody asking, what is a Scrum team?
A Scrum team is a team of small engineers that are working on a part of an application. So out of your whole organization, there would be maybe 50 or 60 engineers, but you're not working on all of the same things. There may be 5 people on your team that are working on your particular deliverable. So if your whole application was to build a game, maybe your Scrum team is to build a particular character and all of the movements of that character and how they look and what kind of design they're going to have.
Okay, so we have another one, and maybe I can talk a little bit about it and then see if you have anything to chime in. So if you're to get a job outside of Alberta, will the company provide housing for you, or is this your responsibility? So you would typically ask your employer when you are interviewing if that is available to you. Some employers will pay for your housing, some will not. It depends on the company. So I'm not too sure, Camila, if you can chime in on that and what Workday did for you.
For me, Workday didn't pay for my housing, so I had to move here by myself.
And then we have another question. For getting a software internship, how much computing experience is expected of you?
For my role, I am mostly a front-end developer who does a little bit of back-end work, and also I was going to be a co-op in my internship. So I only needed some first and second year courses and just object-oriented programming and those basic technical skills. And the rest of the frameworks that I needed to know for my job, I received training for once I was hired.
Awesome. And then any tips for a student about filling out your resume to help to get an internship in computing science? So what about hackathons? Do you recommend that?
Hackathons are amazing, and also I really recommend tailoring your resume each time you apply for that company. So don't hand out the same resume to every company. Try and tailor your resume to the company you're applying for and rearrange things for what particular set of skills they're looking for. Also, take a look at the job description and try to see which of those skills you have and really highlight that, because a lot of companies, they'll look at your resume for a few minutes and they'll just compare it to the job description themselves and they'll try and find those matches. So if you also do that, that's also really helpful. Another good thing that I found is going to, if your company that you're interested in has an in-person demonstration, definitely attend that demonstration, ask a lot of questions, make sure that you're rememberable in that way, introduce yourself if you can. Those are all really, really good things to do.
That's really great advice, especially with the tailoring of the resume and the cover letter to each job posting. So again, when we have that session on October 10th, we'll teach you how to do that. Another question for you is, did you have any personal passion projects that you showed to the company when you were applying?
Yes, so I bought a Raspberry Pi while I was in university just to work on in the summer, and I was in the process of building this smart mirror using Python and the Raspberry Pi. I hadn't completed it yet, but I did mention that as a personal project. Also, my cousin here, she has a hair care business and she wanted some work on her website. So I offered to take a look at her website and just make some theme changes. I also mentioned that.
Awesome. And I do believe that that also applies across from computing science, but also other disciplines as well too. So if you have any like passion projects or anything that is related to the position at hand, definitely showcase that to the employer, because it goes to show that you have that level of a commitment and that you're willing to work on stuff like that outside of schooling hours. So yeah, that's great advice. Um, Another question from the chat for me. You mentioned the next meeting to be on Wednesday, October 10th, but the 10th is a Saturday. Is that correct, Janine? I'll get back to you on that one, Cleo. But yes, yeah. Any other questions for Camila? I'm sorry, the workshop is on the 8th. I apparently am ahead of myself by 2 days. So thanks, Janine. And then, okay, so if we don't have any more other questions, I will get the advisors for each breakout session to actually maybe just put into the Zoom chat if you haven't gotten a link to the breakout sessions. We'll get them to put the links into their breakout sessions, and we'll go into the breakout sessions now. So the first one is Christie's for the lab science one, and then Sandra is psychology and neuroscience. So I encourage you all to go to your breakout sessions now. So thank you so much, and thank you very much, Camila, for speaking. I really appreciate it. You did a fantastic job.
Thank you so much for the opportunity, and good luck to everybody applying for an internship. Thank you, guys.
Thanks, everybody.